Maayong adlaw sa tanan sa akong mga kauban sa Alternative Learning System. This is our Regional Mass Training of ALS Teachers Year 2 with the theme Better Days Ahead. So for this session, I'll be sharing to you our assessment initiatives in ALS Region 10. I am Ray Butch Mahinay, Regional ALS Focal Person for DepEd Region 10. For this session, we are expected to, first, relate the interconnectedness among curriculum, instruction, and assessment. Second, identify assessment concepts to improve teaching learning process. And thirdly, reflect on how we can improve our own assessment practices in the alternative learning system. The word assessment is actually not new to you because you have taken this as a subject when you were in your college years. But personally, I really have a deep connection with the word assessment because I used to teach this in the college and in the master's program at Xavier University, also in the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines. So with this experience, I can say that I have enough background, enough expertise on this subject, and this is actually very handy for me now as we implement initiatives in terms of our assessment practices in ALS Region 10. So for this session, we'll just be answering some questions which are very relevant, like this one. Number one, what is our guiding principle in improving our assessment practices? So I know this is, again, not new to you because I've been re-emphasizing this over and over again in the past months. This is the CIA triangle, or the curriculum, instruction, and assessment. The three words are very connected to one another because curriculum serves as the foundation for instruction, and then as teachers, our instruction deeply relies in the curriculum, and after our instruction, we give assessment to gauge learning, and then the assessment results will also dictate on how effective is the curriculum. So therefore, the three words are very elemental to one another, hence they are placed in a triangle with three equal sides. So this is our guiding principle as we implement our initiatives in ALS Region 10. Second question is, what is our DepEd reference for classroom assessment? We only have one. This is the DepEd Order number 8, Series 2015, or entitled The Policy Guidelines on Classroom Assessment for the K-12 Basic Education Program. You might say that this is only applicable for the formal school system, but I'd like to disagree with that because assessment is universal, and it will be again applicable for us also in the alternative learning system. The ALS task force would mention in our meetings that in the absence of issuance from the ALS, whatever is applicable for the formal school systems is also applicable for the alternative learning system. So therefore, this DepEd Order 8 would stand will hold water in our implementation of assessment in ALS. Okay. Number 3 question is, so what is classroom assessment? So based in DepEd Order number 8, Series 2015, it is defined as an ongoing process of identifying, gathering, organizing, and interpreting quantitative and qualitative information about what learners know and can do. Now, I know this is a very broad definition, but we can chop these according to the words contextually. Identifying, it means selection of topics. Gathering means testing. Organizing means recording of scores. Interpreting means evaluation. Know is taken, of course, from the content standards, and can do is taken from the performance standards. Now that we have interpreted the definition of classroom assessment, Now, I want you to reflect on how well you did these classroom assessment tasks in the alternative learning system. I'd go back to what I said in my introduction, that assessment is the heart of learning. That such that if you are good in terms of your classroom assessment, then you are really an effective and efficient teacher. I know that based on my observation, we had some issues in our practices in terms of classroom assessment. But do not worry, because hand in hand together in ALS Region 10, we will try to polish, we will try to brush up our classroom assessment practices so we can level up. So this leads me to my fourth question. What are our issues in ALS classroom assessment? So again, banking on the definition of classroom assessment, we were able to identify some issues based on the surveys, based on the anecdotal records, based on observations. So let's start first for the word identifying. We can hear some ALS teachers saying, we skip some topics in the curriculum guide. Before, I can observe that we have no definite schedule of what to introduce to our learners. Like, we are just free on what topics to introduce to our teachers. We are not guided by some system or structure, and that leads us to multi-direction in our handling of sessions with our learners. Another issue is on the word gathering. You would hear some ALS teachers saying, we don't do regular quizzes in ALS. That is actually true. Another is on the word organizing. We don't do regular recording of scores in ALS. We really don't have class record in ALS. Another is interpreting. We don't regularly evaluate our learners. In fact, we just close our eyes and then we try to imagine if our learners are ready for the A&E test or not, because we have no sufficient documents to really guide us in deciding if our learners are good for taking in the A&E test. And then in the word no, you could hear some teachers saying, I don't know how to teach some topics in the curriculum guide. That is true, especially in math, especially in science, especially in digital citizenship. And then in the word can do, I don't know how to use scoring rubrics. So these are some of the issues that we have experienced and based on our observations in the field. Now we go to our fifth and the last question. Now, how do we address our issues in alternative learning system classroom assessment? Again, taking from this definition, what have we done so far in the alternative learning system, Region 10? For the word identifying, we introduced the modified individual learning agreement. For the word gathering, we introduced the learning activity sheets. For the word organizing, we introduced the modified monitoring of learners' progress, wherein all of you would really record the scores of your learners. And then for the interpreting, we have the consolidated monitoring of learners' progress, wherein in the teacher's level, she can already interpret the scores of the learners up to the district level, up to the division level, and then up to the regional level. And then for the no and for the can do, we will be having our professional training for ALS implementers starting in June 2021 in partnership with the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines. We will all go together journeying on how to improve our mastery knowledge of the topics in the learning strand number 1 up to learning strand number 6. So these are all the things that we have innovated so far to really improve our assessment practices in ALS Region 10. So I really hope that you will also do your part as we really journey together in this one. Thank you very much.